Hi, this is Rabbi Harvey Hoffman from Century Pines Jewish Center, located in Century Village of Pembroke Pines, recording a video regarding some insights into the Parsha that we're reading tomorrow on Shabbat, Parashat Pinchas. Also connected to some of the insights that we can glean from the Parsha of last week, Parashat Balak. Remember, at the end of Balak, the evil prophet, the even pagan prophet Balaam, organizes and instigates an orgy, luring the Jewish men, courtesy of the Midianite women, to perform public adulterous and vulgar sex, as a result of which they then become punishable by God's wrath, which resulted in a plague, wiping out 24,000 men from the tribe of Simon. And towards the end of that portion, we see the zealous grandson of Aaron, Pinchas, taking a spear and running it through Zimri, a prince of the tribe of Simon, and Cosbi, the Midianite princess, as they were copulating literally inside the holy sanctuary, defiling the Jewish faith and the God who created the Jewish faith. Take a look at the beginning of Parashat Pinchas as the story continues. And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, Pinchas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, hath turned away my wrath from the children of Israel, in that he was very jealous for my sake among them, so that I consumed not the children of Israel in my jealousy. The creator of the universe put an end to the plague because of Pinchas's action. It continues, sentence 12. Wherefore say, behold, I give unto him my covenant of peace. Something unusual happens with that last word in the Hebrew version of that sentence. Shalom, peace. Well, there's a nick, there's a cut in the middle of the vav, the second to the last letter of the word shalom. If you're a scribe writing a Torah scroll, you must write that word when it comes to that portion in the Torah that way. You must have that separation, that break in the vav. Why? Well, there are many opinions, one of which is that although Pinchas brought about peace, he brought it about with murder. The ideal peace would come when people voluntarily embrace each other and sign agreements throughout the world with an attitude of ahava, love, the achva, and brotherhood, v'shalom, and peace, v'reus, and friendship, not with an act of murder. But there's another insight which we can glean from going into the earlier portion in Balak, which came last week. In the first blessing that Balaam, the pagan prophet, made, hoping to curse the Jewish people, and instead having God replace every word of cursing that he wanted to make with words of blessing that God gave him to say. In the blessing, the first blessing out of the series of blessings that Balaam gives in that portion, we have the following sentence. Balaam describes the Jewish people in the following way. He says, Hain, behold, a people, livadad, separate and distinct and apart from the rest of the nations of the world, Yishkon, will dwell. The Jewish people will dwell at its finest when they are separate in their own separate geographical location, in the Middle East, in the state of their heritage, with their own culture, their own religion, their own government, their own safety and security, under the blessing of God. There was a movement in the early days of the Russian Revolution, Soviet Union, starting in 1917, where numerous Jews, in their eagerness to show the Gentile government of the Soviet Union that they, the Jews, didn't want to be Jewish anymore. Please don't regard us as being Jewish. We want to be regarded as equal Soviet proletarian workers of the revolution. We're casting off our Jewishness, and we want to help you in that goal. So they set up something called Yevsektia, the Jewish section of the Communist Party. And in that section, Jews went out and did everything humanly possible to get their fellow Jews to abandon their Jewish faith and their Jewish heritage in every aspect. Synagogues in various cities were shut down and turned into social halls for the Communist Party. Hebrew was not taught anymore. Your Yiddish had to be peppered with Russian instead of Hebrew. All thoughts of Zionism should be discouraged, and were discouraged under pain of death. And in fact, the Jews of Yevsektia actually killed their fellow Jews if they didn't obey the order to have nothing to do with their Jewish faith again. And yet, in the later period, 1938, the period of Stalin's Great Purge, the leader of that movement, Simeon Dimenstein, who did such a zealous job in the 1920s on through 30s, was arrested under false, trumped-up charges, sentenced as guilty, and executed. Now stop and think about what Dimenstein must have been thinking in his jail cell when he was awaiting execution. No doubt he was saying to himself, I can't understand this. I did a zealous yeoman's job of convincing my fellow Jews to abandon their Jewish heritage. Religion is the opium of the people, according to Karl Marx. Therefore, I carried on an attempt to get my fellow Jews to abandon being Jewish and take up life as a secular, workers of the world revolutionary. Shouldn't Stalin be grateful to my work? Instead, I'm being executed. Answer: that was Dimenstein's mistake. He thought it would work. He thought he could earn permanently, and for the Jewish people, an equal citizenship in the workers' revolution. It doesn't work that way. Stalin and the other Bolsheviks had the following attitude towards Dimenstein and the others of Yevsektia. Their attitude was, Stalin's attitude that is, well, thank you for your hard work and achievement, but no thank you. We don't regard you as equal revolutionaries. You're a Jew, period. Whether or not you like it, whether or not you want to be a Jew, we'll never stop regarding you as being a Jew, something other than us. We therefore want to kill you just as much as we would have if you put on tallis and tefillin every morning, prayed zealously, kept kosher, and kept the Sabbath. It is this hard and cruel lesson to be learned from the Soviet Revolution. And in today's society that is so permissive, we're voluntarily walking away from our heritage. Lesson learned: you'll always be Jewish until the day you die in the eyes of the Gentile world. So you might just as well read Jewish books, delve into the modern day history of the modern day state of Israel, take up learning Hebrew, take up a sensitivity towards what your fellow Jews went through to create this wonderful achievement, the greatest in 2,000 years, the creation of the State of Israel, and its perpetuation as at least the fourth strongest military power in the entire world, helping to stabilize the Middle East and stabilizing the world, setting the example for a democracy that works, setting an example for a country in which a Jew can hold his head up high and know that there's no way he's going to lose his job because of his religion. In Israel, we don't have to worry about being second-class citizens. All the Jews are first-class citizens. You can run from your Jewishness, the way the vast majority of the Jewish community in the United States is. But you can't hide being Jewish in the eyes of the Gentile world. You'll always be Jewish until the day you die. This is Rabbi Harvey Hoffman from Century Pines Jewish Center, wishing you a good Shabbos and a good week. Take care.